Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the press conference with Team USA. We are here with the head coach Jill Ellis and the player Alex Morgan, number 13. We would like to start with some comments and expectations about the match tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we're thrilled to be in the semi-finals, playing a tremendous opponent in Germany, which we haven't faced in, I think, at least maybe a couple of years. Obviously, they're a terrific team, and I think it's going to be a fantastic match. Two great teams worthy of a semi-final matchup.
This is a game that we've been preparing for a very long time. All of our preparation the last couple of years has been put into this tomorrow and our journey in Canada. So I'm really excited, and like Jill said, we haven't played Germany in a couple of years, so I'm really looking forward to the game tomorrow.
That's good. Now the floor is yours. I just kindly ask you to raise your hands and wait for the microphone, okay? Good. We're going to start here.
Hey, Alex, this question's for you. I guess Abby's been a little bit of a mentor to you, someone's helped you through. I know you have a ton of motivation for tomorrow, but the fact that this is Abby's last chance for a World Cup title with all she's accomplished, does that figure into this at all for you?
Well, Abby is a good friend of mine, and she, from the very beginning, from when I first started on this team, she took me under her wing and has, has been kind of like a big sister to me. So knowing this is most likely our last go around, we obviously, it's very important to her, and she basically has the best resume any player could ask for, except for the fact that she hasn't gotten a World Cup title yet. So that's huge, but I think we have enough motivation that we need for this game coming up.
Third row.
Kevin Keatings, commentator for the host broadcaster. Jill, would you agree that that performance against China was your best of the World Cup so far in terms of getting on to the front foot? And if that was the case, what other ingredients made it your best display so far?
Well, I think certainly, we decided to come out and press, and I think this team gets energized when they press. Yeah, in terms of tempo of passing and ball movement and, just general control of the game, I thought it certainly was our best game. I'm still ambitious to think our best performance is ahead of us. There were a lot of good takeaways from that game, but certainly, we always want to continue to improve, and you certainly have to win a world championship.
Second row.
This is for Jill. Since the last time I saw you, you presumably watched the France-Germany quarterfinal, memorable game. What were your main takeaways from that game and from how Germany performed?
Well, I mean, it was an epic battle. I mean, it was end to end. I think certainly France got off to the better start in the game. A bit unfortunate not to come away with some chances and finish their chances, but I thought both teams performed very, very well. In terms of my takeaways, obviously specifically for Germany, it's it's a team that's powerful. They're competitive. They're combative. Play a lot, longer balls and look to pick up second balls, and we're gonna have to be very strong in the air, I think. And a team with a lot of personalities, and they're a good team. In every line, they've got personalities and players, and I think it's going to be a great test for us. But I certainly think we have players that will step up.
Jill in the middle. With what France was able to do with their speed to get behind Germany's defense in a way that no other team in this tournament really had yet, how much does that inform your scheming? I know you don't like talking about your lineup, but as you get ready to face them, how much does that inform your preparations?
Well, I think, specifically, I mean, Tomis is a unique player. I mean, her pace is very, very good. So certainly they give, to attack in the shape that they want to attack, they've got to give spaces, as do we. So I think any coach, looks to figure out where the spaces will be to certainly transition into or to go into. you know, I think obviously we do have a very athletic team, but it just can't be about, you know, pushing the ball down the field and hoping we run on the end of it, because Germany's back line drops very well. They're very good in the air. You know, and then we would have to obviously continue to pick up second balls. But I mean, certainly we've got an athletic team, and our athleticism is a big plus for us.
Yeah, Alex, you have the opportunity to be on two teams with both goalkeepers tomorrow. You talk about their attributes, and why do you think, as a forward, they are so difficult to solve?
Well, I think Hope and Nadine are two very different goalkeepers. I've obviously played with Hope a lot more than Nadine, but I've had the opportunity to play with both of them. And for Nadine, I think that she's a gamer, and with Portland, you saw how in training she always wants to show her best no matter what, and we would have competitions all the time, and so I think that kind of helps her mentally prepare for each game. And so it's going to be interesting knowing her strengths and weaknesses, but her knowing mine as well. And you know, Hope I've played with for a very long time, and she's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, if not the best goalkeeper in the world. And I think she's proved herself in the last tournaments and this tournament. But I think that this next game is probably going to be the biggest challenge for both keepers.
Alex, at this point, have all the players watched the tapes of every one of Germany's games so far this tournament, and what have you drawn from those, if you have?
We've tried to watch every game of the World Cup so far, and so we have watched pretty much all of the games Germany has played, and we've watched probably the Germany-France game a couple of times. Yeah, it's been on replay a couple of times in our meal rooms, but you know, they're a great team, and they're a team that will battle you both on the field and the air. They do look for second balls, picking up second balls in the midfield. You know, their forwards, Mittag and Sausage, they're both, you know, they bring a lot to the table, and their defenders, I know they've had a couple different defenders because of either yellow card accumulation or whatever it may be, but there's some new faces and some familiar faces from when we last played them. So I think that I've picked up a couple of things from this tournament watching them, but I think for the most part we know Germany pretty well with the experiences that we've had the last couple of years playing them.
Jill, Lauren and Carly have both talked over the past week at different times of saying that they felt great getting higher up on the field. Is there a way to get them both higher on the field and coexist in that manner, or is it?
Yeah, let's hope so. We'll figure that out. Yeah, I mean, you know, they're both attacking personalities. You know, and I think it's picking and choosing the moments, because obviously Germany is a tremendous transition team. So it's, you know, it's that measure and that balance. But yeah, I mean, I think we'd like to get them involved in our attack as much as possible.
Sherry Ford, TSN. This is for both of you. I just want you to comment on your back and your keeper, given that you've had 4 clean sheets and that this is a very strong offensive team that you're facing tomorrow, and just how they'll have to come up big once again.
Yeah, I mean, they've forged a really good partnership, 2 center backs and obviously our outside backs. You know, I think our group play stage against some pretty formidable forwards, you know, obviously helps prepare you. But you know, I mean, Germany have with their wide players and their central players, they have a foursome there that's, you know, quite formidable. So yeah, we're going to have to be on our toes. I think obviously again it's going to be a physical battle on the ground and in the air, and you know, I think it's been a good test for our players to come through sort of a Nigeria and a Sweden, these types of teams, to prepare us for tomorrow.
The lady here.
I think our back four and Hope have been fantastic this tournament, and there's some players who it's their first major tournament, so with that in mind, they've done amazing.
The lady here in the middle.
Jill, this is to you. You and Sylvia, both female coaches. Sorry. Both female coaches, but in the minority when you look generally around the world in the game. Why do you think there are still so few female coaches?
I mean, ultimately, I think it's a desire to want to do it, and it's an opportunity. You know, do you have the opportunity to do it? You know, and those two kind of have to merge. You know, certainly in some federations, and it's not just federations. I mean, we're talking club soccer. We're talking at every level. You know, people have to be willing to, you know, to have an open mind and hire, obviously, the best coach. But I think there's a lot of tremendous female coaches out there. And then also, it's the desire of the coach. You know, that's where I think, you know, certainly for myself in this country, you like to kind of have something to aspire to for our female coaches, to know that they can climb the ladder, they can be college coaches, they can be national team coaches, because there aren't very many role models out there for us, for the females.
Jill, I know you don't talk about lineups, but given as deep a roster as you have, what goes into making these decisions? You have a number of them to make, and how difficult is it?
Well, I think it's, you know, we got a lot of tools, so I think it's looking at what we need. You know, I think winning the aerial battle, winning the ball in the middle of the park, I think is going to be important for us. Our ability to win the ball central, and it's almost the same for them. They want to win the ball and then they want to transition quickly. So you know, that's some thought into that. And you know, as far as specific matchups with personnel, I feel confident and comfortable in all of our players being able to help us if called upon.
3 last questions, okay? So here in the front.
Hi, Jill. Michelle Kaufman from the Miami Herald over here in the corner.
Sorry.
Hi, Jill. Yes, I know. Can you just talk about how you've dealt with the pressure? You know, this job obviously is taken on more and more pressure as women's soccer has evolved in our country. How are you able to deal with all of the criticism and second guessing and all that stuff? How have you been able to do that?
Well, it's pretty simple when you don't open up your internet and you don't have Twitter. And you know what? I knew that going in. I mean, it's just, you know, you can't let anything distract you from what you're doing. So in terms of what's out there, yeah, honestly, I don't know what's out there. But my job is to focus on what I have to do to prepare this team. In terms of pressure, I think you don't go into a job like this knowing that the expectations are nothing but high, right? So I think, you know, that I don't lose sleep about, you know, the games and such, because I think this is the environment I chose to be in. If I didn't choose it, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Jill, the German team did several times complain about the fact sharing the hotels with other teams. In former tournaments, the US always insisted in having an own hotel. Now you share hotels. Do you have any problem with that situation?
No, I think actually the first day I almost walked into the German meal room. But no, I mean, you know, is it ideal? I think that's a question for FIFA, to be honest with you, and I don't know what is done on the men's side. But, you know, I think if you take our first opponent, Australia, I mean, our meal rooms were right next door to each other. Is it ideal? You make it work.
Stand up. Stand up.
Hi, Jill, Alex from NBC Deportes. Could you both talk about how the group is and the commitment tomorrow of what it's in stake? There's 2 teams that have 2 World Cup titles. How is this an extra motivation for you guys?
Well, it's the #1 and the #2 team, and you know, it's almost like a final in itself. Germany's had a great run this tournament, and we've done pretty dang well, and have been continuing to get better and better throughout the tournament, I think. So I think it's going to be a great game tomorrow for the fans, and we've been watching Germany a lot this tournament, knowing that we could very well see them in the semifinal, and days finally come tomorrow, and we will be ready.
Okay, so time to conclude the press conference. The training will take place at 6:30 in 30 minutes, okay? Thank you for coming and good luck at the match tomorrow.